Jesus was a rock star.
Making plans while counting on change. Matthew chapter 10, verse 19 through 31, it says, when you are arrested, don't worry about how to respond or what to say. God will give you the right words at the right time. For it is not you who will be speaking, it will be the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. We Pentecostals, we love this verse. It means we don't have to prepare for nothing. And if anything crazy happens, we can just blame it on God. And that was the attitude that I had. See, I got the gift of gab. I am able to get out and shoot from the hip and be passionate and just go gobbledygook. And people think you're good even when you're doing just gobbledygook, you know. And so I had this Bible study. And I would not prepare because I would get up and I would just read some out of the Bible and shoot from the hip. Okay? Now, one time, Jenny and Dennis Duncan, they're missionaries in Turkey, and they're doing fantastic there. But way back, we're going back 25, 30 years now. We're all a bunch of old farts. They came to my Bible study. We were meeting at First Assembly of God here in Fargo, and I had a big group of kids there, and they were there and seen my Bible study. And I was saying, yeah, I don't plan for nothing. I just read a verse and just go as the Spirit leads. And Dennis says to me, well, you know, Scott, don't you think that God knows on Monday what he wants you to share on Thursday? 16-year-old Scott says, well, yeah, I guess he probably knows that. Yeah. Well, don't you think if you asked him, he'd tell you? And then you could be better prepared? And I thought, I guess he could, But you should know, Scott's a little bit of a bonehead, a little bit of a slow on the take-up sometimes. And so we used to go to this thing called Come to the Cross. It was between 400 and 600 teenagers that would get together every month in Winnipeg. And so we would drive up there, and so I was, this is a little while later again, and so I'm probably 17 years old, something like that. And when I would go to this thing, I was very boisterous, and Canadians, they tend to be kind of a quiet lot. And I would go there, and I'd be loud and passionate and preach and altar calls and stuff, and I would just always, and they have an open mic, and open mic in my world just meant that God was asking me to say something. Well, one time they call me up, and they say, Scott, we would like you to be our main speaker at the next Come to the Cross. And I was like, this is I'm 17, right? Hundreds of teenagers are going to be listening to me. I'm pretty pumped. And God told us what he wants you to share on. And we're not going to tell you. We want God to speak to you. Cool. That's awesome. And so I start praying, oh God, tell me what to share. And you know what? No handwriting on the wall. No words from heaven. Nothing really, coming. And well, I guess God just want me to go there. I'm not going to prepare anything because you're supposed to tell me what you're going to do. So I go there, and I got nothing. I'm just I don't want to say. I always shoot off my mouth, And so this ain't gonna be a problem. So I get there and they introduce me. I come up there and I'm like, I don't know why I picked that day to be a little shy. I'm a little bit, uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah. And for an hour, I said nothing. I walked back and forth on the stage. I hemmed, I hawed, I had no plan. I have no idea what I said. I don't remember any of it. I'm positive nobody there remembers any of it. And I bombed. I bombed so bad. Now, on a related note, I actually didn't ever go back to that meeting again. I was so embarrassed. We were going every month, and all of a sudden, I had something else to do all those Friday nights. And we stopped going up there, and it coincided. And I want to encourage you that this verse does not mean that we don't do our part, that we don't plan. Because now, I know what I'm preaching on months from now. I'm actually 4 sermons ahead right now for putting them together and practicing them. And then on Thursday is my day that I study the sermon that I'm going to be doing on Sunday. Okay, and so I'm working way ahead. Why? Because it's cheating to plan ahead. You can do so much of a better job. Now, God can always step in and change your plans. And that's happened. And he can do that. But my part, if I have to do my part, and that's to work hard and not just flippantly say, I can shoot it from the hip. I can shoot it from the hip, So this is the Chinese proverb. It says, where you can plant yourself. Oh, wait, that's a question. Back up a little bit. Sorry about that. Placing right plants at right locations brings good luck. In other words, you don't know when opportunities are going to come, but you want to place yourself in the right place so that when the right thing happens, you are there. Theodore Roosevelt said about luck, he said, "I'm the luckiest man in the world, but I have always been good at getting in the right spot so luck would hit me." You never know when something's good is going to happen. So sometimes you got to jockey yourself and be consistent and be there. And so now you've got to be consistent and be there. And that's where most people drop it. They're not consistent and they're not doing anything. Okay? So my question for you today is, where can you plant yourself to take advantage of God's blessing and favor? Where can you plant yourself? Is there some place that you need to be? Every day is not going to be fun. Every week is not going to be lots of incredible ministry happening. But where do you need to be that you can say, okay, God, I'm here and I'm ready for you to do whatever you want? Where do you need to be? May the Lord richly bless you, and I hope to see you in church on Sunday.
Jesus was a rock star.